joined now by Republican Congressman Chris Collins of New York, who is, of course, the first member of Congress to endorse Mr. Trump. He also was an advisor to the transition. Congressman, good to see you, sir.
Yeah, Chuck, it's always good to be with you back here in D.C. as our work is beginning tonight.
Well, let me ask you about DACA.
Sure.
Is this something that you're willing to vote on standalone in the House of Representatives? You heard Senator Feinstein. She believes it should be a standalone bill. If necessary, take the vote, get this done, get these folks protected. Where are you on an idea like that, sir?
Well, in fact, Representative Carlos Curbelo in Florida and myself have introduced a bill that is a standalone DACA bill that says we will take these dreamers and for the next 5 years, under certain conditions of them being in school, being employed, having a clean record, being in the military, we'd give them 5 years of conditional permanent status. At the end of that 5 years, they would be given permanent status, work status in the United States. Again, as long as they had maintained for those 5 years good moral character, a job, they weren't on social assistance and the like. So yes, I'm fine with that being a standalone. In fact, I'm on a bill right now today that is standalone, and I'm also fine with it being part of comprehensive, not only H-2A, but H-2B, and certainly we've got to deal with the 12 million undocumented workers that are working our dairy farms, doing our farming, working in our hotels, and also our restaurants.
Are you open in that after that 5 years, when you say they would get, assuming they pass that checklist, permanent legal status, then at that point, that puts them on a path to citizenship if they choose?
Well, that's something we have to discuss. That's not clearly in the bill. And I'm open to that. I've always been open to that for the dreamers who were brought here by their parents. And I've also said for comprehensive immigration reform, it's legal work status that those who broke the law, the adults that came here, are really after. I have an open mind when it comes to the kids, the dreamers that have been here. But our bill right now speaks to 5 years of legal status followed by then permanent legal status, which is not necessarily citizenship. But I'm open to it.
Can that bill pass the House of Representatives?
I think it can. We're a compassionate country, Chuck. The president has said these are many young men and women who they speak primarily our language. Maybe that's the only language. This is the country they've been brought up in. We are a compassionate country. So I think, yes, I think certainly the Democrats would come on board. And I truly believe majority of Republicans would as well. This is, to me, a little bit of common sense.
The president has yet to make it clear if he would sign a bill like this. They've been sort of cagey about what they would sign, while at the same time talking about that they have a lot of compassion here. You've heard Senator Rubio, Senator Graham are both basically, who both frankly I think are a bit gun shy themselves. They went down this comprehensive immigration road. They saw how fraught the politics are of it. They want to know what the president's willing to sign before they go down this road again. Is that a fair ask?
I do think it's a fair ask. I do think, certainly the president is well aware of the issues with H-2A and H-2B, as well as the undocumented workers. We need to address this problem. And certainly over the next 6 months, which is the amount of time Attorney General Sessions has given us for the temporary DACA reprieve, if you will. I think that's a reasonable thing. We've got a lot to accomplish in September. And once we're done with that, we're working on tax reform, which we will be. There's no reason we can't roll immigration reform in as well. And certainly it would be well received, across America if we can get this done once and for all.
Are you comfortable with the idea that it maybe get lumps in with Harvey? The debt limit raise is going to get lumped in with Harvey. You do have to figure out how to keep the lights on this month. All those things. Is that all fair game? And should those be vehicles that are considered here in order to get DACA, your version of DACA passed or some other version?
Well, I wouldn't rush DACA right now. We have 6 months, and these other issues, whether it's Harvey or the debt ceiling or keeping the government open or the FAA or the children's health care, which all have to be done in September, we have a month to get all of those things done. We have 6 months to deal with DACA. So, no, I would not rush that. into these other bills. And whether the debt ceiling is included with Harvey, I'm indifferent because I'm going to support both. And I'm not going to let us default on our nation's debt. Others, and that's what leadership's talking about, you know, that's Speaker Ryan and Leader McConnell's decision. But I'm okay with it either which way because I'm going to vote for him anyway.
You know, in all honesty, this came up in the last hour. I think Nicole Wallace asked this. Why now? Why not postpone this debate for 6 months? Why do you think the president needed to do this now? I mean, let's be frank here. We're a pretty divided country right now. I don't know how much more divisive politics we can handle, number one. Number two, you guys are absolutely inundated with a lot to get done that has to do with people's lives, right? When you think about Harvey and things like that. And frankly, we know a monster storm is on its way. So from the second largest state, the third largest state in this country could get hammered. Was this the time to pick this fight?
Oh, I don't think the president's picking a fight. In fact, some of us would say this is long overdue. We've got to give some level of certainty. The dreamers, they deserve it. Their families deserve it. And so I would have been fine if we had done this, you know, right out of the gate in late January, early February. And there's no reason we can't multitask. Working on DACA has basically nothing to do with doing fundamental tax reform, which will, you know, be something else we're going to do over the next 4 to 6 months, hopefully 4 months, not 6 months. So it's not like we can't multitask. We've got multiple committees. We all pretty much know, Chuck, where we stand. There's no real new information.
There's no new debate, right?
So there's no new debate. You know, let's just get it done. I think America's tired of us procrastinating, especially when there's no new debate. There's no new data coming forward. We know who everyone is.
Right.
Let's just get it done and let's do the right thing.
I have to say, I hope you're right about multitasking. I've been watching a while. It doesn't look like Congress multitasks very well these days, but you're right. They should be able to. Anyway, Congressman
I agree.
Chris Collins, Republican from Western New York. Thank you, sir, for coming on and sharing your views.
Good to be with you, Chuck.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.